Yo guys, how is everyone doing? I hope everyone's well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, before we jump into this video, I'd really appreciate if you could all hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification just next to it so that you don't miss any of my future videos. And then if you could just leave a like on the video, I'd really appreciate that. Now, what I'm going to be going over today is break of structure versus change of character. Now, short term for change of character is CHoCH. Now, for any of you that follow my Instagram or have watched any of my recent videos, you will see that I use change of character quite often. Now, it is a major confluence for my strategy on how I would take trades. Now, you can't just use a change of character just to use it for taking trades. There has to be other confluences with it. Like I do use higher time frame analysis where I come from the daily down to the 1 minute time frame, and there's many other things I use that will take place just before I take my actual entries. But a change of character is definitely key for jumping in on the 1 minute time frame, and not just essentially the 1 minute time frame. Now, you could use it for entering on many time frames, like the market's a fractal, you could use that in all time frames. But before we jump into a change of character, I'm just going to explain what a break of structure is and then explain the difference in my eyes to a break of structure and a change of character, because it's a very much asked question. I don't even know if that made sense, but like it's definitely asked a lot. People ask me in my comments on my reels, on my photos on Instagram, they ask me in my DMs daily, what is the difference what is the difference from a break of structure to a change of character? Now, if we just draw out a little pattern here, we'll go from a low to a high, we'll respect the low and we'll put in a new high. We'll respect the low again, we'll put in a new high, we'll respect the low again, we'll put in a new high, and we'll come down, we'll take the high again, and then boom, we'll take the low, okay? And then we'll just carry on the same formation. Now, if I just get my pen out here, okay, this is a break of structure. Sorry, this probably isn't the neatest. This is a break of structure. This is a break of structure. This is a break of structure. This then becomes a change of character. The reason why this becomes a change of character, okay, is because the high gets taken first. So the supply in this area here gets taken by the demand in this level here, okay? Now, when the demand in this level gets taken, we have a change of character. The supply that put in the new low to take the demand, that is where you get your entries from, okay? Then we carry on again, we have a break of structure, carry on again, we have a break of structure, okay? So essentially a break of structure is when any high or low gets taken. Now, that can form in different types, like we have swing highs and swing lows, which is like the external structure, and then we have internal structure where any supply or demand gets taken, can be a break of structure. Any high or low on like a minor structure pattern gets taken, that's also a break of structure. Now, when I'm trading on the 1 minute time frame, I mainly use minor structure breaks and then a change of character to get in my entries, okay? Now, if we jump over to the actual live markets, we'll be able to see this. Let me just take off this pen and I'll just go over a few break structures and then we'll jump into some change of characters as well, okay? Now, as you can see here, well, it's probably not the best place there to come down, it's pretty terrible to be honest, but like, yeah, here, so I can see here already, like here we have a change of character, okay? Why do we have a change of character? Now, for me, this high that put in this low has been taken. What did it get taken by? This demand here. Okay, if I mark out this demand, this is the demand that put in that high. Now, what zone took that? This zone here for me. Okay, now if I just mark that zone out, this would be the supply. This is where you could get an entry from. Let me mark the supply, okay? So then you could be looking at taking entries from here. Now, I think I mentioned it at the start of the video. For myself, I wouldn't just trade this. Like, that is just a pure fact of a change of character and just getting in entries. Now, that can't just be a strategy. You can't just have the strategy of 1 minute change of characters looking for entries, okay? Like, there's many other confluences that take place within my strategy first. So, like, yes, essentially, if I'd done a top-down analysis on this on EURUSD and we'd just tapped into a 4-hour time frame and then we'd had a 15-minute change of character and then we had a 1 minute change of character, then essentially, yes, this supply zone here would be valid for me. I could be looking at taking entries from this area. Now, on this, we respected this supply zone, we come back down, we had a breaker structure here. So I can mark this out. Here's the breaker structure. This is the demand that put in the high here, tapping into this supply. And then that gets broken, breaker structure, okay? We push in price down, we come back up, mitigating the supply that was left in here. And then we have a breaker structure again, and so forth. Breaker structure, breaker structure, breaker structure. So now essentially you understand what a breaker structure is and the difference between a change of character with. But if we just keep going through, we can see that there's many times this happens. You get many chances to jump in like 1 minute entries of a CHoCH. Obviously not instantly, you can't just be trading. I suppose if you've done your back testing and you built data and you only wanted to trade 1 minute change of characters, you could do that. But for me, I don't do that. I don't think it would work possibly, but it can work, to be honest. I have seen like many chances where you could just get in from a CHoCH and you'd be in the entry, like let's say here, okay, we could have a perfect example again right here, right? This is just a 1 minute alone. Now, this is the supply here that put in this low. We'll break this. We had a breaker structure to the upside, okay? Now this, sorry, I didn't click it. Now this demand here that put in this high, once this gets broken, we have the change of character. There's the change of character. This is the supply that put that change of character in place. If I just mark that as a supply zone, you'll see that we come up, we mitigate this zone, collecting more orders, and then we push price off to the downside. Whereas if you got in here on a 1 minute entry, you would have came out profitable with this trade, okay? Now, then we have the breaker structure. We come back up, we have a breaker structure to the upside. Now, here's another change of character. So this is the high that put in this low, breaking the structure here, okay? And then once this gets taken, personally myself, I would use this. I didn't see the zone here. So this is the last buy to sell before we broke the low. I don't know why this has been all fuzzy, I don't like that. Let me get this out again. Let me just get the pen out, actually, it's easier here. So this is the last buy to sell before we took the low from here, causing the breaker structure to the downside. And then what we have is, this is the demand zone, okay, that caused this breaker structure. Well, technically, yes, we broke it from here. This is the demand that caused it. Wow, that is so messy. To get the supply zone, sorry, demand zone, just to like make that a little bit neater. I'm not gonna be able to just draw that straight. Okay, here. And as you can see, this is why you don't just enter on the 1 minute demand zones, or well, sorry, the 1 minute change of characters, because what happened is price come back down, traded straight through that zone, and now if you'd have placed an entry just on this 1 minute change of character, you'd have got wrecked. You'd have been straight stop loss. It didn't even give you a chance, it traded straight through. There was no like respect in that at all, okay? And then once again, in the same thing, we have another change of character. Now this is like, it just shows that change of characters do happen everywhere. They are always in the market, but it depends like on the other factors you have in your trading plan, okay? Now we have a breaker structure here. We broke structure to the downside. This demand broke structure back up to the upside, and then from this zone here, we have a change of character. So I hope this is like making it more simple for you to understand the difference between a breaker structure and a supply zone. Now, if you do watch some of my other videos, you'll see like how, if you watch one of my first videos, it's about 40 minutes long. It was a good friend of mine who did a live session for my community. If you watch that video, you will see how we actually come down from higher time frames into the 1 minute time frames, and then we can use the 1 minute change of characters and flips. Now, I have covered what a flip is in other videos, so if you want us to understand what a flip is, then you can go over to one of my other videos. You'll see, I think it's CHoCHs plus flips, and you will then understand what a flip is as well, okay? Now, if we just keep going along, we can just keep like pulling these out for you. Like here, we have a breaker structure, so we'd cause that a breaker structure, then we push price down. Once this supply gets broken, we have a breaker structure, so there, we have a breaker structure, breaker structure, breaker structure. We have a wick break here, okay, because you can see the wick breaks there. We have a breaker structure here. Now, and then obviously there's other types of breaker structures. Like I said at the start, there's swing highs and swing lows, which is the external structure patterns. We're not actually going to cover that in this video because it will make the video too long. I don't want my videos to be very long, just because like it's not that good for people's retention rate. Say I make a 30-minute video, not everyone watches a 30-minute video, so then they miss out half of the knowledge that gets put into it. So the other 20 minutes that I could add onto this video, I'll do in a separate video where people will then watch and they will gain the knowledge that they wouldn't have gained if they didn't watch to the end of my video. Okay, now we'll just find another change of character and then we'll actually end this video here, because it is quite a simple video. There's not much to it. Like, understanding what a breaker structure is quite simple, and also understanding what a change of character is quite simple as well. Now, what could we think of here? Yeah, we could use that there, but it's not as clean. I want to find a clean change of character, so it makes it very easy for you to understand. We have a clean one there, but not clean how I want it to be. No. Okay, we're just going to find a clean change of character just to make this simple for you, and you'll understand it a lot easier. Okay. No, but there's not really a clean change of character there either. No. Okay, so it seems like it's going to be quite hard to try find a clean breaker structure. In the meantime, guys, just to let those of you that know, like, I do have a full course of mentorship where we go way more in depth into these concepts. We take you actually through how our full strategy works. We go from the top-down order flow, from the daily down to the 1 minute. We go through all the confidences that we would look for when getting into entries. There's tons of trade breakdowns in there. There's back testing sessions in there. We go weekly live webinars. Like, there's many things in there that will definitely help you level up and upgrade your game in trading. Now, I'm just trying to find like a clean change of character where it's like it's not as messy as the other ones have been, so like you can see how it fully works. Here will work. This is quite nice actually. It's quite simple to see. So here you have a breaker structure to the downside. Okay. There we have a breaker structure to the downside, and then this is the supply that put in this breaker structure. We'll actually label these. Oh, that was quite messy. I don't like that. We'll actually label these as well. So like here we have the breaker structure. We'll change that, and then we'll get a change of character. This is the zone that caused the change of character there. And then where is the demand that actually caused this change of character is here. This is the last sell to buy before the up move. Okay. Now blue is my color, but it doesn't say demand. There's the demand zone. So this is where you would take your entries from. Okay, so what happens here is this is the supply here that causes the breaker structure to the downside. From here, this is the demand that caused the change of character to the upside. So essentially it's another breaker structure to the upside, but because we've had a break to the downside and an upside, this is now called a change of character. So this is the demand that's caused a break to the upside. So then what you'd want to do is you'd expect price to come back down. Because this demand caused a break, we would want price to come back down, tapping and collecting more orders to then trade off to the upside. Okay, so there is a example of a change of character. I hope this video made a breaker structure more clear to you and a change of character more clear, and it just showing you what the difference is. Now we are going to end the video here. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button. For those of you that made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you all. If you head down into the description of this video, you will see my full course and mentorship. If you just click on the website, there's tons of information on there. Go check it out. It's worth a look. Watch the video that I've put on there and just see what you think, guys. And then for anyone that does join, I can't wait to see you inside the mentorship and take you on an amazing journey. That's the end of the video. Peace.